We finally have a family member speaking out. Joseph A. Couch's cousin. We got to take a look at this. What's up, y'all? As you guys already know, we have been covering this whole thing that had happened out in Laurel County, Kentucky, where this man, Joseph Couch, opened fire on a highway on I-75. He is still out there, out on the lam, y'all, still out there in the woods, allegedly. And they have entered, well, it's been 6 days, to be completely real. It's been 6 days since anyone has seen a glimpse of this man. Of course, there's been bystanders talking about seeing him running across intersections and all that stuff, saying that he's shirtless, wearing a red baseball cap, and of course, completely unhinged. There's still a lot of questions on if he has another AR on his person or another firearm of some sort. That has not been confirmed. A lot of people are still wondering, is this man gone? Did he leave? Right? Is he not in the woods? Is he out in Puerto Rico? Okay, having a grand old time, or is he still in the woods? Or is he unalive? Did he do something to himself because of the things that he has been saying to? He said to his ex-wife in a text message, saying that he was going to wanted to hurt a lot of people, and I'm paraphrasing, and that he wanted to do that. He would eventually do something terrible to himself. But now we're finally, because I wanted to hear what family members had to say about this stuff, because I'm wondering if they know of anything, if there's any type of inkling of anything, right? A heads up of any kind. Did they know that he was this bad, in bad shape mentally? Were there any warning signs, red flags leading up to this, right? But we now finally have a family member speaking out, a cousin of his, talking about everything, and at least giving as much information as they know right now. But like I'll say now, and I'm sure I'm going to say later, I'd love to hear more from family members, especially the ex-wife. If she's the one who received those text messages, man, I'd love to hear what she has to say, because I'm wondering if there's any, like I said, any heads up before this whole tragedy ensued. But let's take a look at this video. All right. This apparently has the interview with the cousin. Let's rock and roll.
Is live for us in Laurel County, where she joins us now. And Samantha, you talked to one of Couch's relatives today about the ongoing search and about what she felt when she heard about that shooting. Samantha, what can you tell us?
Bill and Amber, that's exactly right. As you all mentioned, we are now nearing the end of day 6 of this manhunt for mass shooting suspect Joseph Couch. We heard from Kentucky State Police and Governor Andy Beshear this morning. They said this search is in fact ongoing, and there are no plans of stopping until Couch is found. And tonight, for the first time, we're also hearing from a member of Couch's own family. Tonight, we're talking to his cousin, Adrianna Couch. What goes through your mind when you see that name, Joseph Couch, open fire on I-75?
Honestly, my heart sunk. It was embarrassing.
Adrianna Couch says she first learned of Saturday's mass shooting when she was flooded with messages from friends and family.
He's like,
again, I'm still kind of curious as to how they found out this was him indeed. I mean, yes, there was the ex-wife, but is there more to this? Did they have anything else, some smoking gun evidence to say, yes, this is indeed him? Before everything ensued, I guess they ran the plates on the car, so on and so forth. But still, it's very interesting. And then, of course, it's a small town. So word spreads fast in a very, very small town, for sure.
On the news is everywhere. And I turned it on, and it was like a manhunt looking for him.
Adrianna says her heart immediately broke for the victims, their families, and anyone else affected by her cousin's alleged actions. Police say he opened fire along I-75 in Laurel County, injuring 5 people. Since then, Adrianna says her family's lives have been flipped upside down.
We've had multiple police come to grandma's house, mom's house. They've been everywhere looking for this man.
Adrianna says she's received death threats from strangers online. She says she wants people to understand her family does not condone what her cousin is accused of doing.
There's nothing in this world that he could do that could have led up to it to excuse the behavior of what he did. There's nothing.
Now, again, first off, I want to say this too. Everyone leave the families alone, okay? The family, if there's nothing that has nothing, if they have nothing to do with this, if they didn't do anything, help him get the thing or help him get the weapon or help him in this act of violence, I mean, everyone needs to calm down and leave the families alone, because obviously they're going through a time too. They're going through the same type of tragedy. They're going through the same trauma. Okay. This is a terrible thing. All right. But also, yeah, she's also saying that there was nothing that he did in the beginning that gave any warning signs that he was going to do this thing that he ended up doing, which is also really terrible as well. But I am asking questions. I still have those questions. Did they know, or did they see any red flags that maybe were overlooked, right? That just passed under the radar. The only thing I would say is, wouldn't they know about the terroristic threat in the 3rd degree charge that was later dismissed, that had to do with him pointing an AR towards a neighbor and his neighbor's daughter, throwing a rock at a dog? I mean, all those things I think are really important pieces of information. And I would sit there and say, hey, if that's not normal behavior for him, which it shouldn't be normal behavior for anyone to throw a rock at a dog and point their weapon at a father and their daughter. But if that's not normal behavior by him, wouldn't that be a red flag for the family as well, to just at least look into and check in on him, make sure he's doing okay? Like I said, asking for a friend, but that still does not garner threats. Okay, it just does not. All right, it just doesn't. But let's continue on.
If her cousin is watching, Adrianna says she has a message for him.
I would ask you to please turn yourself in, because you are very wrong for the actions that you've caused. And it's been a very embarrassment to the family that you've acted like this. And my heart goes out to everybody involved in this. And it honestly, it hurts.
And
I will say this too. Maybe embarrassment. Well, I mean, obviously, I don't want to put words in her mouth, but I feel like maybe embarrassment's not the best word. Maybe it's shame. You're putting shame on our family, because it's not really I mean, it is embarrassing to a certain extent, but I feel like there's something. It's deeper than embarrassment, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? It's shame. You're putting a shame on our family. Right. This is devastating, and it's horrific. And, it's like you're unaliving the family too. You're unaliving the family's name as well. You know what I mean? So imagine that. But let's continue on. Let's hear what the reporter has to say here.
We're hearing that same message from law enforcement. They too would like to see Joseph Couch give up and turn himself in. However, they of course will not stop searching until he is found and police are able to finally serve that arrest warrant we know they have ready and waiting for him.
Again, I really, really hope that we get something here. Very, very
behavior. What he did.
I really, really hope that we get something very, very soon in regards to this whole thing, because I mean, as far as this search, he's been out here. No one knows where this guy is. No one. Okay. At least as far as as far as the recording of this video, no one knows where this guy is. He could be anywhere. Like I said, he could be over the in the borders, over the border. He could have crossed the border at some point. Okay, he could be anywhere right now. The family seems to be very, very distraught and thrown back. Okay, taken aback by this whole situation. And again, it's absolutely devastating and scary to think that your own flesh and blood, your own family, would think of something like this and then actually do that thing. But I am still going to ask the questions. It's great that we're hearing from a family member and that we're hearing that they didn't know anything about any of this stuff, right? That this just kind of was, this kind of it took them, shocked them in a way. But the thing I'm very interested in as well is hearing from other family members and other friends of his, because I'm wondering if they knew of anything, like the ex-wife that allegedly is the one that received those text messages before he went out on this rampage. What did she know beforehand? Was there any issues beforehand? Like I said, too, that charge that he got for pointing his weapon at a neighbor and the neighbor's daughter, and throwing a rock at the dog. No one knew about that. Not one family member knew about that story at all. It just seems a bit odd, right? And I understand he could keep a lot of those things close to the vest and not tell anybody anything at all. I think that's, I understand that. That's not something that you're going to have as public knowledge unless you're looking it up or unless he tells you himself. But it is kind of something that I'm wondering, like, was there more to that, right? Because it seems like he was very aggravated in February, earlier this year. And I'm wondering if that continued on. And if that continued on, there definitely would have been some red flags here before he did what he did. But I do appreciate the cousin speaking out, and speaking out on behalf of the family, because somebody had to speak out. But yeah, I think it's really important that the family or people leave the family alone. Let them deal with this situation. Let police catch this guy and let the justice be served to him when he gets caught. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Where do you stand on this? What do you think about the statement that was made by the cousin? Do you think that the family knew more before this whole thing went down or not? Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Hit that like button down below. Crush that subscribe button. Hit that follow button if you're watching on other platforms. It'd be great to have you a part of the Pascal Show family. Anyway, guys, it's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. We'll talk soon. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.